lockdown for Cassiopeia to dump all her spells on as soon as Vi ults in. So yeah, they look happy about that pick.
The problem here is how they're going to survive the laning phase. I'm not sure any of their lanes are actually stronger than their opponents. Riven is not a good matchup against LeBlanc. Like, there's not much she can actually do but take poke from LeBlanc. So that's not a great matchup there in the mid. Top lane Cassiopeia. This is something I
I
haven't
haven't.
actually seen
I seen
before.
this once. I seen this once 3 years ago. Now it was freaking Stanley playing
Yeah, that game.
Cassiopeia.
That was the season where Stanley actually played 20 top lane champions in the
Yes,
GPO. That was absolutely ridiculous.
but the
I don't think he won
Cassiopeia
that
did
game.
not work. Not back then. So
Yeah.
this is unusual.
Oh, they're betting on Stanley. Stanley's like giving it a nod of approval. It's like, yeah,
I
very good.
recognize this. I know this.
Yeah. I hope it works better for you.
Yes, quite unfortunately, even back then, Cassiopeia was just simply too squishy as a top laner to do well. And against Cassidy, I'm not sure if this is necessarily a good matchup for her. Cassidy is almost arguably a counter pick against the Cassiopeia.
Well, I think Cassiopeia still is going to get a lot of free range harass down on Caston. She can outrage Caston. I think the Melt Sphere is only maybe a 650 range, while the Cassiopeia Twin Fang and the poison toxin thing is like 900. So
Well, certainly, he's probably going to be using Crystal and Flask start as well, just to survive the laning phase. Still, afterwards, that's not a good matchup.
I'm still really worried about both the Riven and Cassiopeia because these are very easy lanes to gank. And
Yeah.
the Vi is going to be more. We see more Vi's go for the Trailblazers just to get her level 6 faster. So early in the game, I think Albus is going to have a lot of control over top and mid.
Oh yes, especially with the Rek'Sai. If you're not picking Rek'Sai for the map by control, you're not playing her right.
Yeah.
Early on, there's no major lane swaps except for, of course, Cassiopeia going top, but that's pre-game. Seems as if they're just going for a standard defensive start on both sides, just warning out the river approaches and making sure nobody tries anything sneaky. AHQ's boasting confidence rate of 93% amongst the Taiwanese fans.
And who can blame them? NHQ has been really strong. Even in the games they lost against TPA, I believe they had early leads all along.
Yeah, yeah. It was. Although in that case, I think TPA was expecting that because they were playing a scaling composition. So overall, it's been a race between AHQ and TPA so far, even this early on into the LMS. Westor does catch Kukudai a little bit. That's some free damage, some harass back and forth.
Not much to be worried about for either of them. Two guys just going to go back to base right here.
Yeah,
Probably going to try to pick up early potion, another potion.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. And yeah, another potion on Riven, especially against the LeBlanc, that's probably a much better idea. Jungle starts are mirrored. We're both seeing a Gromp start for the. No, it's not mirrored. We see a Gromp start for AHQ because they want the early level 2, whereas their jungler Albus is actually getting the Krug's heavy fist.
Yeah, and I'm really worried for Jarling Yu's bot lane right here. The last time they played, a limited and Quat Rain got pretty much destroyed in the bot. So let's see how they fare against Anne and Green Tea, which are arguably much more famous bot laners.
Oh yes, Green Tea especially. And AN was formerly Oreo of the Taipei Snipers, their mid laner. He actually did pretty well. This was back when Next ABC was still switch off with him, I believe.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Green Tea
already has level 2.
Early level 2. Yeah, he got level 2 straight off of Gromps, so they're giving him experience.
And the flay away. So Quiring was expecting that.
And yeah, that's the reason we don't see many Leona picks right now is because she does not work very well against the top 3 support picks, Morgana, Thresh, and Janna. All 3 of them have ways to just completely nullify her engage. And that's the reason why we don't see her in the meta as often.
Yeah, unless, of course, somebody chooses to run a poke. Well, assuming that they think that they're running like Thresh or Janna, and then choose a poke champion like Sona or even Lulu to try to mitigate. Right now, we're seeing just poke back and forth between Westor and Kukudai. Kukudai coming out the worst for it. Maple Snow's also taking some damage from Ziv. So Ziv's not being punished yet. He's just letting the lane push instead.
Yeah, he's just gonna try to pick up as much farm as he can and probably wait for that level 6 and try to make a gank here. So I think a lot of onus is really on Rek'Sai to make the early moves here. Yeah.
Is it necessary the early moves or until he can get like level 6? Because Rek'Sai's actual early ganks, pre-6 ganks, aren't actually all that strong, right?
Yeah, they aren't, but I believe he's going to be going for the Stalker's Blade, and in comparison to the Trailblazer, he's going to have a definite advantage here. And this is one of those places where you can get a really long-range blink from Rek'Sai. Let's see if he goes for it.
Yep, he jumps over the wall, but Kukudai's dueling with Westor manages to proc the passive from LeBlanc. The clone splits off, but Westor himself stays in the fight. Albus is going in. We do see Quiet Rain engaged upon by Green Tea. Quiet Rain's going down. He's dead. It's just a matter who gets the kill.
This is the exact same problem we saw in the last game as well. Quiet Rain doesn't have that good of a...
Oh, Kukudai jumps in with a flash and the ignite. Westor is going down! Baby!
That's going to give him some Bayman style points right there.
Oh yeah, Kukudai did well. That was a flashy kill.
Yeah, I even got Westor out of all the mid winners as well.
Indeed. Oreo gets... Oh, no, the first kill actually went onto Albus. So, first blood onto the jungler, which is not too bad. But with Kukudai especially taking the early... what was it called? The early MR, it's definitely in Westor's definitely going to be in a little trouble now.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, like, the Quiet Rain play right there. He actually played Leona in the wrong direction.
Oops.
And we're going to get a replay here of Kukudai coming in. Actually, Westor has a slight HP advantage in there, so he probably wasn't expecting this burst coming in Q1, Q2. Okay, this should be signals for Westor.
Oh.
Okay. I think Westor was a little bit caught off guard there, even though he already saw the Q1 and the Q2, so he should have seen that coming, but probably not enough Riven minutes for him to be familiar with the matchup.
Indeed. Overall, let me see. There isn't any because of that kill. There is a gold deficit, CS deficit on Westor's part now. Losing, however, caught out by Albus, takes a chunk of damage. Is forced to back off.
Yeah, and that's really smart play from Rek'Sai right there, holding on to his chilling smite because he knew that Vi could probably get over the wall. And we're seeing a CS lead from Rek'Sai again, like all the games we've seen so far, and the Stalker Blade actually coming out from Vi.
Albus going in for the fight again. Gets Quiet Rain is poked down hard. And gets a kill this time.
This is just, we're seeing the same mistakes over and over. Like, look, there's even a question mark being repeatedly right there.
Yeah. They should have backed up off a lot sooner. And the lack of ward coverage on Albus's likely approach is also making it much harder for that bot lane than otherwise would be.
Quiet Rain actually had a support there.
Westor being engaged upon again. Kukudai is at level 6, but he can't finish the job. He's taking way too much turret damage, and the ignite. Westor gets the revenge kill.
That was a little bit unfortunate for Kukudai right there. Westor just hit level 6.
Yeah.
And he was able to double chain him to death. I think that was a little bit too counter from Kukudai right there, to be honest, though.
Yeah, it was just a slight bit cocky. And now, because of that, Westor is able to tie up on his farm as well. We see that this game there's no real farm advantage, but AHQ's, as you said, Albus is making the early moves. He's actually being really impactful, especially down bot lane.
Yeah, a lot of this is coming from mistakes from Darling U's bot lane, especially from Quiet Rain. Just didn't place them.
I guess it's a good thing that he didn't give up the Thresh for champions he's probably more familiar with, because Green Tea would have just first picked it. Kukudai eats the Solar Flare, nothing happens. But yeah, keeping Thresh off of Green Tea might have been the theoretically a good choice, but he doesn't seem to be able to make it work.
Yeah, his play played the wrong direction during the game, and we see this is the thing about the Riven versus LeBlanc matchup, which I've actually seen a couple times in solo queue. The thing about it is that once LeBlanc gets just a slight edge, she can punish Riven over and over and over again.
Yeah,
And it's really hard for Riven to do anything about it.
Yeah, she has a lot of ability, but not wide enough of a gap closer to close in on West when he jumps back to his prior positions. Kukudai is flanked again. Green Tea using those mobility boots to roam as hard as possible. Tags in with the Zenith Blade. Albus and gets the kill off of Kukudai, so that's his second kill of the game. Well done.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say that the mobility boots on Leona, especially when you're against a lane like Thresh, is a great idea as it allows you to roam. You probably can't get a kill on the enemy ADC because of Flay, but you can roam to mid lane to pick up kills that way.
Yeah, exactly. They're just using their advantage they got from the bot lane in the early 2 ganks, and they're now moving for Dragon.
Yeah, it's probably Darling Yu is aware of the dragon, so AHQ is backing off. They know that the bot lane's wandering around somewhere, especially with the Warden back over there. So they don't want to risk it, but they also know that Darling Yu isn't in a position to capitalize.
Yeah, and here we see the problem about roaming supports is that if you can't punish the support for leaving the lane, the AD carry is actually going to get even more EXP later down the game.
And with Quiet Rain also forced to roam elsewhere to try to match movement for movement, you see that AN is actually taking a very significant CS lead. Ziv and Maple Snow trades off, but both just gets chunked down low and can't fall through.
Yeah, we see that Quiet Rain still hasn't hit 6, while Green Tea has already been ganking with his ultimate twice around mid lane. This is going to put Westor in a very favorable position now with his flash up over Kukudai.
And there it goes again with the Solar Flare used to at least isolate his movements, but the teleport goes down from Maple Snow, so all of AHQ is forced back off. But Maple Snow can't do anything himself, so it's a bit of a waste of a teleport, I think.
Yeah, but it did force them to back up, even though they were already backing up. So you're right, Secure. That teleport probably was not necessary.
Yeah, it does, however, force Ziv to waste his teleport as well, so overall it's, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, teleport for teleport. Everything's still fine. Rek'Sai coming in again.
Unlimited is not aware that Rek'Sai's in position. Albus is moving in for the fight. Unlimited gets not the knockup because I think he's spell shielded. The Lantern drags him right to safety, so that's alright.
Everything's still working out okay there. I want to note on the.
Oh wait, Ziv is flanking. Well, no, he's not being flanked by Maple Snow. It looks like he's just trying to do some damage.
Yeah, I don't think HQ can actually see Illusion coming up the river right there. Probably took out a ward or something. So we see Ziv playing a bit more passive here, afraid of the Vi gank.
Yeah, I'd be worried about that Vi gank as well. The potential combination with Cassiopeia is really, really deadly.
Yeah.
Green Tea is in position 4 if he chooses to go for it, but I think he's wary of the Flay.
This is really bad for Darling Goose bot lane. They're getting zoned out
really badly. A couple of rockets, they're forced to retreat.
And this is just some general things about the lane I want to talk about. But if your enemy is freezing and you can't challenge the enemy laner even with a minion wave advantage, then this lane is not going to go well for you. It's going to snowball even further.
Maple Snow punches Ziv for getting too close with 3 of the Twin Fangs. That's a nice almost 50% damage, probably 50% with the heal off.
Yeah, and we can see her stacking mechanics have actually changed a little bit for Cassiopeia in this patch. Rito said that Cassiopeia is now going to get her stacks faster.
Westor gets engaged upon by Kukudai, who almost finishes him off with the ult, actually, with the Ignite burning down. Is he going to survive? He gets it! And the 3-man stuff from Maple Snow. Wow! But Maple Snow's being chased on by Green Tea, whose passive helps Albus finish Cassiopeia off.
Yeah, we're seeing this is the second time we've seen Talon teams.
And Dragon for Darling Yu, so at least they get some advantage from that fight.
Yeah, they got a Dragon and a kill mid, and a turret and a kill likely for HQ top. Oh, they actually get the mid turret too.
Yeah, Darling Yu finished off outer mid while HQ finished off the outer top. I think that's more to Darling Yu's overall advantage as it makes it easier to control the next Dragon spawn.
Exactly. Even though HQ probably has a good idea when the timer is.
Yeah, probably. They just ask themselves, when When did we take down the top turret again? Oh, around then. Okay,
Yeah.
because it would have.